Hi students, this is an optional video for anyone who needs additional help with the slope-intercept and generating equations with a given set of coordinates or data or some sort of graph. So again, this is optional. You don't have to do this. You don't have to show me your notes if you don't want to, but it will help you with your homework for sections 2.5 and 2.6. And we're mostly focusing on section 2.6. So please have your math book or your workbook ready for reference. We'll be starting on page 49, page 49. And the first example I kind of put in this chart right here. Before we do that, let me just tell you these facts on the side. To write an equation in slope-intercept form, you need two pieces of information. Two pieces of information. You have to have the slope and you have to have a b, the y-intercept and the slope. And slope we represent with m and the y-intercept we represent with b. And the cool thing is you can find this information with any two coordinates from a set of data or a coordinate plane. Okay, so that's all you need to know before we jump in. So here is some data that they gave us on page 49. And I'm not necessarily going to follow their exact steps that they give us in this video, but I am going to get you the same answer, and I'm going to try to do it in a way that's more understandable for you. So we know that we need slope, and let's start with that first. So I'm going to do everything for slope in purple. And for slope, we have two ways of finding slope. The first way is rise over run, and the second way is this formula, which is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. All right, and then when we're looking at data like this, well, can I do rise over run with this? Can I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Like, can I count like that? I can't because I don't have a coordinate plane. So this one is not an option for me right now. This one will get me the answer. So I need x's and y's. Well, if your book even puts minutes are x's and cost is y. So I need to choose any two coordinates from this plane, and the coordinates are this. Here's an x and a y, here's an x and a y, here's an x and a y. So I need to choose any two. It doesn't matter which two, they will all get you the same answer. I typically like to use what I call pretty numbers, so I like to use 100s or zeros or 10s because I know those will get me some easy answers. So for mine, I'm going to use these two coordinates. You can use any two you want though. All right, so what we do is we do y1 minus y2. So I need to designate one of these coordinates as 1 and one of these coordinates as 2. And I'm actually going to color code this a little bit farther. And I'm going to say that this pink one right here is my y1 and my x1. And then the purple one is still going to be my y2 and x2. So this is still going to be my y2 and my x2. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. We need our y1s. So we're going to do 100 minus, and our y2 is purple, so minus 200 over 18 minus 28. Notice that I keep my pinks on top of my pinks and my purples on top of my purples. So I've got 18 minus 28. And instead of using color language, I have to keep my coordinates paired up. Just like they're paired here, 118, 228, I have to pair them up. I can't pair 200 with 18 or 100 with 28. It won't get me the same answer. So then I just subtract 100, take away, oops, I am so sorry, I did this wrong. Look what I did. I did my x's on top of my y's. I need to switch that. I need to do my y's on top of my x's. So let me erase that. I'm so sorry. Let me just do this. And then we'll fix that. Okay, so then it was same thing, y's and x's, but this time they're in the right order. So now you see one of the common mistakes, sorry. Okay, so y's on top of my x's. Y1 in pink minus y2 in purple. X1 in pink minus x2 in purple. Okay, and now we just need to solve. 18 take away 28 is negative 10. And 100 take away 200 is negative 100. So negative 10 divided, or negative divided by negative is positive, so we don't need to worry about my negatives anymore. And 10 divided by 100, well, I can take off a 0 here and take off a 0 here. And that reduces it to 1/10. So my slope is 1/10. Okay, so what I typically do is I circle my slope and I write it next to my m. I write m equals, 1/10, because I don't want to forget that. So I've got this first piece of information. And then if you look back, we need two pieces of information. We need the slope, which we just got, and now we need the b, which is the y-intercept. All right, so let's go ahead and write out the equation for slope-intercept form that we should have memorized already. And I'm going to do that in blue. So we're going to do y equals mx plus b. Now, let's plug in what we know already, because remember, we're looking for the m and the b to get our final answer. So let's plug in what we know. We know that in our last answer, we're going to have y equals a number times x plus a number. So we have y equals 1/10 x plus b. And we still need to find out what this b is. So the way that we do that is we use one of the data sets, or one of the coordinates that they gave us up here, and we plug it in for y and x to see, so we can get b, so we can solve for b. And this is where most people get confused, so bear with me if you're a little confused. It will make sense in just a moment. So I am going to use this coordinate again, 118, and this time I'm going to use green. And 100 is my x, and 18 is my y. So I'm going to take my 100, and I'm drawing a lot of arrows on here. I'm going to take my 100 for my x and plug it in right here. And then I'm going to take my 18 for my y and draw another arrow, and it's going to go right here. So my next equation is going to look like this. It's going to be 18 equals, my slope was pink still, 1/10 x. Oh, but instead of x, what are we using? We have replaced x with that green 100. 1/10 times 100, and plus b, we're going to keep b in blue, plus b. Okay, so now I've got an equation. Well, now that I have this equation, this is just a standard equation that I can solve for b, because I only have one variable in it, right? So I just need to solve that. So it's 18 equals 1/10 times 100 plus b. So that will give me, let's solve it. 1 times 100 is 100 over 10 is, that just reduces to 10. So I've got 18 equals 10 plus b. And then I just subtract 10 from both sides, subtract 10. So then I get 8 equals b. So 8 equals b. Well, wait a minute. I've got 8 equals b, and I know that m equals 1/10. Do I have the two pieces of information I need to write something in slope form? I do. So now I just need to write my final answer, which I'm going to write here. I'm going to write y equals our slope, 1/10 x plus b, which we just found out is 8. So your final answer is still going to have a y and an x in it, and it's going to have your slope and your b that you just found. Now, for page 52 that you need to complete for your classwork or your homework, it gives you another set of data in an x and y table. So it tells you number 1, 2, and 3 on that page are what we just did. You have to find the slope by doing the y1 minus y2 formula over x1 minus x2. And then you need to find the y-intercept by plugging in one of those coordinates into the slope-intercept equation. And then you need to take your m and your b and write a new equation. And then for number 4, it says use your equation to determine the temperature of an altitude of 5,000 feet. So you just need to plug 5,000 in for x. Then numbers 5, 6, and 7 are looking at that graph that is about the scuba diver. And you just need to find two coordinates that are a perfect intersection. So if you've got a coordinate plane right here, and all of your lines that go this way and this way, it needs to be a point that crosses exactly on an intersection right here or right here. It can't be a point that's like in the middle of a square. It has to be a perfect intersection. So that way you can figure out the coordinates. So you'll get a coordinate like this and a coordinate like this. You'll get two coordinates and with an x and a y. And you'll have to use those coordinates to find your slope and your b-intercept. Okay, and then so 6 and 7 are asking for the y-intercept. I'm sorry, I said b-intercept. I meant y-intercept. And then 7 is asking for an equation. And then 8 and 9 are giving you coordinates in different formulas or a different way. It's saying that at 0 degrees Celsius, it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's one coordinate. And then 100 degrees Celsius is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, so those are your two coordinates that you need to use to solve 8 and 9. Okay, so I hope this helps. If you're still confused, please bring questions to class. If not, go ahead and finish the page that you needed to finish, and then make sure you have any homework for today completed as well.